world, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Dusty, you guessed it, this is the Shred Academy. On today's episode, we're gonna continue, are you a passenger or a pilot? And we're gonna talk about some sizable jumps. Now when I say sizable, how big am I talking? Let's go count it out. Say 1 foot, 2, 3, 4, 5. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. 33 feet to where the knuckle starts. I'd say that this lip stands 7 feet tall, maybe 7.5. I'm not even at the bottom of the transition really, but we'll go with 7.5. Fairly steep transition as well. With a jump like this, there's one element that is sure to increase, and that is speed. Now, with adding speed to jumps, what comes along with that? Added airtime, added danger. Speed magnifies every movement you make off the lip and magnifies the consequences that can happen on the other side. And the run-in for this jump actually is quite nice. You have a jump section up above you that you'll see in the POV, come around these two turns, and you can literally kind of just pedal all the way down and off this jump. It's never a good idea to show up to a big jump that you've never hit before, roll up and just hit it full speed your first time. It's a good idea to have a few slow rolls to gauge the run up of the jump itself, and as well you can get an idea of how the lip is going to feel as you go up. Now again, you're not going to want to try to land all the way down here. You really do just want to plop right on top, as you can see that I do here. A good way to approach these run-ups is to let your speed carry through to about maybe 15 or 20 feet before the beginning of the transition. That way you can get some braking done and you won't be on your brakes going up the lip, and you'll be able to get a sense of how the transition feels. Once you've done a few slow roll-ups and you've kind of gauged the amount of speed you're going to need to get from point A to point B, it's time to commit. But before we commit, let's talk about what our body is going to be doing as it goes up and off this lip at a much higher pace and a much steeper and longer lip than you would have on a blue or green jump line. Let's take a look at what my body's doing going up a jump this steep, this fast. Now as I approach the lip, I have to pedal to get the speed that I'm actually going to need to get across this thing, because we're going through a really good freeze thaw and the ground is a little tacky, so we need to make sure we put down the watts just to get the minimum speed we need to clear this thing. Now going off of a jump this big, going this fast, you kind of are just riding off of it, but you are putting your body into the same positions as a smaller jump that you're trying to create a lot of pop off of, but we just accentuate them differently. Now I stop pedaling well before the transition of the lip, and then I just kind of get into my attack position. But notice that my chest isn't super dropped. I'm very much in a relaxed position. There's plenty of room for the bike to start to tilt upwards as it starts to go up the lip. Now as I'm piloting the bike up this transition, notice how my body accepts the transition along with the bike. my chest doesn't fall down towards the handlebars as I go through this initial transition. Now, as you're traveling towards the edge of the lip, this is where you're just gonna put yourself in the body position of the initial wheel lift. There isn't gonna be a real need to kind of lean back any further or create extra arc by adding extra front wheel lift. The speed and the shape of this jump are gonna give you your natural flight path. So as my front wheel begins to leave, notice my hips shift back into that rear third of the bike. My upper body is definitely not hunched over, but again, I don't have to create any more front wheel lift, so I don't need to bring my body all the way back as I would for a more mellow lift to create a lot more front wheel lift to create a steeper arc or pop higher off the lip. As my front tire leaves, I'm still pushing into the face of the jump with my feet all the way up until the moment that the rear wheel leaves the lip of the jump. Now, in a smaller jump, we actually do kind of try to force our hips up and forward to kind of help that arc across. But with a jump that's this tall and you're going this fast, you've got a long distance to travel up before you start falling. So you're basically just trying to pull yourself back in to that centered position. You don't want to pull yourself too far forward. That's going to cause the bike to dive a lot faster, and it may cause the rebound of the rear wheel to throw you forward, which could cause you to go OTB. Trust in the arc of the jump. Commit to the speed and the ride. Now, as I leave the jump, notice my body just go back into that attack position. When you have a jump this big, it's nice to kind of do something in the air so you're not kind of just hanging out. For me, I chose a table on this one. It kind of makes me feel a little more connected to the bike as I really was pushing hard to get the speed for this. As I continue up, notice that I'm not starting to lean forward at all. I'm literally just going through the natural arc of the bike. Getting that sweet table in there. You can barely see the frame of my bike in here. Now, this is where we're gonna start to come down for the landing. Let's go talk about how we're gonna approach that. Now let's assume that off the lip you made proper body movements and you didn't overfling yourself forward, so your arc is spot on and you're gonna land after the knuckle. As soon as you take flight, you can more or less be spotting the landing, checking out if there's anything that you need to brace for as you come down and impact. As you come down, it's going to be a good idea to kind of create a little space between you and the bike like I do here. This is going to allow you to kind of absorb some of the impact with your arms and legs. Now, this is a fairly steep landing, so I'm not able to really nose the bike in to land front tire and then rear tire like you can on some smaller jumps, but I do nose the bike down and I do land at the same angle as the transition of the landing. Now, as I touch down, I'm going to use my arms and legs as added suspension to do everything I can from letting my upper body get flung towards the handlebars. Now, keeping your elbows wide when you do kind of get put this low into your bike upon absorbing the landing is gonna help you keep control as you go down the landing. If your elbows fall in, you have a much greater chance of kind of losing side to side control and start wobbling down the landing. Now, as soon as I kind of impact, I bring myself back up into that attack position and I'm ready to attack the next jump. Big jumps, having big landings like this, gives you the ability to kind of overestimate your speed, but you don't want to underestimate. Casing these types of jumps can really cause some serious damage.
Okay, I always love to show you guys what not to do,
But I'm gonna be honest, on a jump this size, there's no way that I'm gonna put myself in danger by showing you what the stand up to the jump can do to you. If you wanna see how it can go bad, go check out my debunk stand up to the jump and you'll see all that you need to know. But you do not wanna do that going off of a lip, going this fast with a lip that tall. You wanna make sure you're manipulating that bike in the right way, so you are the pilot of your bike and not the passenger.
Yeah. Oh!
What happens when you add speed and mistiming, F around, and find out? So this is not what you want to do off of a jump this size. Now, I will say Big Brutus is no longer 50 feet. Like we found out, it's only about 32, 33 at its maximum. This young man just hangs out in the rear seat too long, right? And kind of absorbs a little bit of this lip, like the last foot. And unfortunately, the rear suspension kicks him up and forward right there. You can see it kick him. Let's watch that again. And now he's like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. And he walked away, he was fine. But this is why big jumps, lots of speed, lots of consequences. Well guys, that's gonna do it for our big jumps. Now again, this isn't the biggest jump. If we come across a bigger jump, we'd love to talk about it with you. This is kind of the biggest one that I come across every day here at Kanuga, so it's the one I used. If you enjoyed the content, please make sure to leave a comment and always make sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe. Make sure that your friend is subscribing too. We're trying to hit that 10,000 subscriber mark by New Year's, and we've got about 3,000 followers to go, so help me make this happen, guys. If you'd like to support the channel, make sure that you become a Patreon. The lowest level is $5 a month. That's 37 cents a day. It's not a whole lot, but it adds up for me, and it really makes it possible for me to come out and make these videos and put the time in so that they're educational and fun. Another way you can support me is you can buy me a gallon of gas through my PayPal tip system. Just use the PayPal link in the description. Make sure you send it as friends and family. Finally, you can buy some merch. We've got a limited amount left, so if the size is available online, I do have it. It'll take itself off the internet when it becomes unavailable. If I don't see you till the next episode, guys, make sure to ride hard, ride safe, be kind to each other. We're all in this together. Rubber side down, guys.